It's the place for all the biggest shows and stars of the stage. It's the Broadway Show. I'm Tamsen Fadal. Welcome. Mariska Hargitay is everywhere right now. On Law & Order SVU for more than 25 years, she's courtside at the Knicks, and now she's making her Broadway debut in Every Brilliant Thing.
I have loved this process, and it has been unlike anything I've done before, but also I'm learning so much, and I have put myself in this situation of doing something that I've never done, and that's scary. It's frightening, and it's terrifying, and I was terrified, and it's been such an incredible journey to go through this thing and climb this mountain that at times felt crippling. And then, like, this journey of it's just been extraordinary.
I just love it. I love that she's doing this. I love that she's so brave. This is a huge challenge, you know? She's been wanting to do stage work for a while, and that she does this, which is insane. It's like just like, okay, I'll go climb Mount Everest. But that's who she is, and she's fearless. She's one of my favorite people I've ever worked with and one of my favorite people I know. She is generous beyond all measure. And the two of us, when we met, we just, something, you can't bottle whatever happened between us.
It's a whole new experience. All new muscles that you're flexing as an actor, artist. You know, it's fun to explore new territory, and I've done it before. She, came to see me in Ireland, and so yeah, it's, pretty cool.
Mariska's actually extremely funny. She's very, very silly and funny, and I think that's the thing that maybe people who regularly watch SVU don't understand is just how freaking funny she is and how much fun we have on set when the cameras stop rolling. We have fun when they're rolling too, but so I'm excited to see the comedic side of her.
I feel like she is just so much energy that she turns it way down for the camera, and I think everybody's going to get to see what we have the pleasure of seeing every day, and it's going to be amazing.
New York, I'm already talking the talk.
So where you headed, by the way?
New York, baby!
Now get ready to fall in love with New York City all over again. Let's talk Two Strangers Carry a Cake Across New York. I sat down with one of the stars of Two Strangers, Christiani Pitts. Well, it's good to see you.
It's great to see you.
It's been a bit.
So great to see you. Yeah, it's been a minute.
But you've been having a good time, right?
Oh, yeah. Most fun I've ever had on stage.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Talk about the show. First, the title of the show, Two Strangers Carry a Cake Across New York, always makes me kind of, smile when I say it. Talk to me about, if somebody hasn't seen it, what surprises them and what they should be prepared for.
I think people leave surprised about just how hard they laughed and the release that they had. And the show is described as like a rom-com, which I think is sweet to get people there, but it's a little misleading because it's so much more than that. It explores deeper levels of people's humanity, of the choices that these people are making, and it's really funny. And I think people leave the show feeling like, I did not know I was gonna laugh that hard. I thought I was gonna have the cutesy romantic experience, but it's not that. It's it's silly, it's serious at the same time. I think people are surprised by that gut reaction.
Follow my stride, just follow my stride. I'm Bonnie, you're Clyde, you're Bonnie, you're Clyde.
When you first heard about it, you first came across your desk or your computer or your email, what did you think upon reading it?
I loved it. And I only read the first half, and I didn't know that. I thought I finished the script. And so I read it on the plane on my way to New York for the audition for it. And I finished the script.
Wait, you read it on the plane on the way to the audition?
Mm-hmm. Well, the audition was 2 days later, but I live in Georgia.
Oh
so
my
I had to fly to New York.
You had that little amount, I didn't even know that you did it that fast of a turnaround?
Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, this is good. And in my director meeting, he's talking about the script, and I'm like, and I love the open-ended nature. I love how it ends, and we don't really know. And he was like, well, no, we do know. It was so good that I only finished half of it and was like, this is one of the best things I've ever read. It's just it's so fast and smart and witty. So when I read the first half, I was hooked.
Now, it's just the two of you? Is that right?
The two of us, yeah.
So what is that like? That is a close relationship, and you're barely leaving the stage.
It is only the two of us, but we also have the band on stage, which is awesome because we can work with them, laugh with them. There's a moment in the show where I'm referencing a character who's not there, but our music director pretends to be the character sometimes. So we have little moments like that. And also the other characters in the show who you don't see are so fleshed out. that you feel their presence, you feel their energy. People leave the show having really interesting reactions to the people who aren't even there, which I think is credit to the
that
writers.
says a lot.
Yeah, so it is just us two, but the world feels a lot bigger than that.
Cats, the Jellicle Ball is now on Broadway. It's a reimagining of Andrew Lloyd Webber's classic musical Cats, but set in the world of ballroom. Here's Paul Wontorek with more.
You know, people throw around the word legend a lot these days, but I consider all three of you legends. So I'm thrilled to be sitting with you, and I really wanted to gather us all to talk about Cats, the Jellicle Ball. Now, because Junior, of course, you are a legend of the ballroom scene, and you are such a burst of authenticity in the middle of this production. And Ken, you are a Cats legend, because I saw you in the original company 1982. You were McCavity. And Andre, you're just Broadway legend, full stop. Tony-winning Broadway legend.
I'll take that, yeah.
Junior, how do you feel starting on Broadway? Was Broadway ever something that you even imagined would enter your life?
No, nor did I anticipate it. It's a gift.
Yeah.
And because it's a gift, I receive it with honor and respect, because I was guided to meet the Broadway deity, Mr. André De Shields.
Ken.
Yes.
As someone who lived through the original phenomenon, I mean, when this show opened originally, it was touching people in its own way. And then you got to experience the Jellicle Ball as an audience member. What is it like sort of merging those worlds together for you?
When Cats first came out, I was just arrived in New York. I was very confident. And I listened to the show and I thought, I'm going to do that show. I did it for a year and it was amazing. And I did 3 Andrew Lloyd Webber shows. They brought it back in 2016.
Right.
And I went to see it and I was so disappointed because they didn't do anything to it. It was a museum piece. And when you bring a show back that is as iconic as this is, you have to do something with it.
Yeah.
So when they said they were bringing Cats back again, I crossed my arms and I was like, what are they gonna do with Cats? Oh my God. And I literally said, does everything have to be so gay? And then I went and saw it in the theater and I thought, yes.
You know, the young, black, queer kids that can come into the Broadhurst Theater and just, or don't know they're queer kids, you know, sitting there and experiencing this and the kind of impact. Do you think about that at all, or you're just doing this?
I think about it.
Yeah.
I think about it every day.
And they do know they're queer.
Sure.
They just don't know where they belong
Right.
until they come to the theater and see themselves. And it is a revelation when you finally understand, oh my God, I'm not the only one. There are others like me. There is a place for me in the world. And that changes your entire future. Give me your hand till death do us part. Yes.
This is a Broadway show, and we're back in just a few. Welcome back to the Broadway show. I'm Tamsen Fadal. Let's get back to it. Tony nominee Jeremy Jordan making a splash once again on Broadway. He's a new Bobby Darin in the amazing musical Just in Time.
Hey, I'm Jeremy Jordan, and I am playing that guy, Bobby Darin, in Just in Time here at the Circle and Square Theater. One of the cool things about this show is the audience interaction elements. So why don't we take a look inside and I'll show you what it's all about. Okay, so this is the theater. As you can see, it's what we call a thrust stage, but it's even more immersive than that because we walk all the way through here. We act over here, on the stairs. There's lots of amazing places to sit, and pretty much anywhere you're gonna be in the middle of the action. If you're lucky enough to be sitting in this general area at the beginning of the show, you might get a special visit from yours truly. If you know, you know. Yeah, it looks like I'm the first one here, but don't worry, these seats will be completely filled this evening. As you can see, we have cabaret-style seating at this theater, which is really specific to our show. The seats are bolted down so that the people don't just, you know, trip us up as we're going through the aisles and dancing on the tables and doing lots of fun stuff. But these are the premium seats. They each have their own speaker, too. Look at that. This is actually one of the only shows on Broadway where you can have this kind of immersive experience where you're in the middle of the action that's going on stage. We might have to do some of this and that, but that's really fun, actually. I like that. Here at Just in Time, we've got a big, beautiful brass band over here on the stage right here. And you know, they usually don't smell. And if you're sitting in this seat, you can pretty much reach out and touch them, but don't touch them. Don't do that. But it's very exciting. They are just wailing away, and get some sweet, sweet horn music. Just chilling here. No need for earplugs. We've also got these plush banquette seats over here on the sides of what we call our B stage. They're always filled with people, unfortunately, because every show I'm waiting for someone to not be here so I can just take a little napsies. That's our secondary entrance. We do a lot of action here on the B stage. So even if you're in the back, we're right here. And I'm talking to you. I make eye contact with every single person in the audience. There are 700 people plus standing room. That's a lot of eyes, but I'm gonna look at you right in the eyeballs, and we're gonna fall in love. Now, maybe you won't score one of the, coveted cabaret tables, but we got some extra floor seats for you here so you can feel that you're still part of the action. You're a little bit more removed from the actors. I know we're scary, strange aliens from another planet, but I promise we won't hurt you, and you get a little extra safety if you're in here. So as you can see, there's really not a bad seat in the house. I just broke that. We're gonna fix that. I'm gonna see you here at the Circle in the Square Theater as soon as humanly possible.
All right, we are here pre-show inside the theater of Just in Time Circle in the Square with the house management team. This is a unique space on Broadway. We're underground. What is it like? You've been here for several shows. I know Oklahoma, Romeo plus Juliet, and now here with Just in Time. What's it like shaping this space and changing it, to fit those shows in a way that only this theater can?
That, I almost feel like the show shapes the theater. No two shows are the same, no two seating configurations are the same, and each show interacts with the audience a little bit differently than the one before. For sure, I think that there's a lot more interaction in this space with the audience. You're a lot closer to the audience. You're a lot more intimate with the audience because they are right there. But how that show chooses to interact with the audience changes every single show.
What kind of challenges do come along with that? Because you're not just setting up box chairs. This is an immersive space that the people are moving through that changes based on the show and changes every day.
I think it's very interesting how close the audience is to the actors. That I feel like is our biggest thing in making sure actors and audience are both safe. That is, I feel like a flight attendant sometimes, just making sure that everyone stays safe and their arms and legs are there. I think that's the biggest thing, is making sure people are safe with the audience and actor interaction.
And I do think that there's a level of, when people first come in here, if they've never been in their space, they're like, this is too close. How do you stop the audience from jumping on me? And they're like, there are rules of the theater, and people in the space observe them. Even for the people who are sitting down on those seats, they're like walking through. You come like this close to them, and everybody knows what that space is, and they respect it.
Thanks so much for sticking around and staying with us. I'm Tamsen Fadal. The great John Lithgow wins a Tony Award for his performance in the play Giant. It's a true story of children's author Roald Dahl and a scandal that marred his legacy. Here's Beth Stevens with another edition of Building Broadway.
In this piece you were writing about Roald Dahl, who everyone knows from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and James and the Giant Peach, and Broadway fans know Matilda. What drew you to that subject?
Well, it didn't really start with him. It really started with kind of a lot of political discourse that was happening in the UK around about 2018. A lot of conversation around the Middle East, and the sort of like, what I was noticing was a lot of mixing of like really meaningful debate, political debate, and then quite a lot of sort of quite prejudiced stereotyping. But I wanted to find a story. And I remembered, because I'd loved Dahl growing up, I loved his books, he was the sort of wallpaper of my childhood, that he had been accused of anti-Semitism himself. So I just looked up what the source of that accusation was. And he had written a book review in 1983 of a book about Israel's invasion of Lebanon in 1982, and it caused an outcry. And I just thought, well, that's a really great setup for a play. This famous children's author at home, under siege from critics in the press, whilst also contending with a huge domestic upheaval in his life.
Well, you have John Lithgow, a giant of the theater, who is playing Roald Dahl and brings so much to it. What did you discover as a writer just having him read the work?
Well, I discovered that John himself brings to his presence and audience's relationship with him adds an extraordinary value to what we're about to watch. You know, the play is an attempt to find a balance in Dahl himself, who had some very cruel and controlling aspects to his personality and beliefs, but also was a man of great compassion and kindness at times, and an innocence in a weird way, a childish person, as well as a sort of a kind of cruel person. John, first of all, has an extraordinary facility to move between those two positions. He kind of doubles down on what Dahl is. He's beloved, and Dahl in a way is beloved. And we trust John Lithgow as an audience. And so even when Dahl is being cruel, we sort of bring to it some kind of belief and connection to him as a person somehow. I think John Lithgow plays a trick on our minds as much as we know we're watching a famous children's author.
The Jimmy Awards is a huge and amazing event that happens in New York City every year, featuring the absolute best of the best musical theater talents from high schools all across America. Now on the lead up to the Jimmys, the Broadway show shines a spotlight on the students and the cities, and the impact these competitions and awards have on those amazing teens. This is the road to the Jimmys.
The Applause Awards is a program that celebrates high school musical theater here in Central Florida and is also a regional qualifier to the National High School Musical Theater Awards, known as the Jimmy Awards. This year, out of 4,000 students that participated in the program across the 48 schools and 11 counties, we're going to have about 400 that will participate here on the Walt Disney Theater stage.
Tonight belongs to us. Come on, make some noise, everybody! It's a puzzle!
It's kind of amazing what having an audience can do for you, like in front of you. There's just this light that comes out of everybody, and everybody just gives everything and leaves it all on the floor. And so getting to see that all night long from my medley and from all the medleys and all the schools performing and every award that you could be nominated for. I mean, it was just really amazing to see that.
There are many things that I hope the students will take away from this Applause Awards experience, but I think the number one thing for me is how obtainable this dream is for them. They are literally one step away from being on that Broadway stage or working in that professional community environment. So I'm hoping I can open that door for them to make them know that from the Applause Awards, anything is possible, that their dreams can come true.
Our male winner for the 2026 Applause Awards, Joseph Wright!
The Applause Awards have significantly impacted students here in Central Florida in a multitude of ways. One of the ways is through the amount of scholarships that we're able to offer. Since 2014, we have given roughly $250,000 of scholarship monies to students who are going off and pursuing musical theater careers. Another way that it's impacted is by giving people a path to Broadway. We have had many of our alums go on to successful careers in the arts, both in performing and behind the scenes. You know, folks like Miguel Gil, who is now in his second Broadway show in The Lost Boys. You know, he was a winner here at the Applause Awards and now is making his path in Broadway. And there are many students that are like Miguel out there in the world that are living their dreams because of what they were able to achieve here at the Applause Awards.
Everybody, 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 come on loose.
That's all for now, but for tickets and more exclusive content, you can head over to Broadway.com. And until next time, I'm Tamsen Fadal, and this is The Broadway Show.